Hello and welcome back, student. Today we are going to begin with our EVS II session, our lesson number 5. We are going to continue with our lesson 5, Evolution of Mankind. In today's session, we are going to cover video 2, which includes part 1 and part 2. So let us begin and understand more in detail with evolution of mankind. Now, what did we do with evolution of mankind? So in the last part, that is the first video which we studied how Earth was created. Among the 8 planets, the Earth is the only planet where life is known to exist, and the process of evolution brought a new concept and changes in the living world. So let us now understand more in detail about the evolution of human species. Now, to begin with, let us recall what we had done in our first video. The first stage in the evolution of mankind was known as Homo habilis, a species discovered by the scientist Louis Leakey in the border region between Tanzania and Kenya in the continent of Africa. Homo habilis was similar to that of ape. He was a primitive man, and however, he had a big brain. He made use of stone tools, and that were useful for him for hunting small animals. The second stage was Homo erectus. This man had more brain developed than the Homo habilis, and he could stand erect because he had a spinal cord which was straight, and so he was named as Homo erectus. His tools were more developed and he made a hand axe. The Homo habilis made only stone tool. They only scraped the stone tool and they used. But he made some more better tools. He made hand axe. Tools made by Homo erectus have been discovered in Africa, Asia and Europe. And the third stage which we studied was the Neanderthal man. Now this man was physically big and strong as compared to Homo erectus. He also stand erect, he also walked erect. But he hunted more bigger animals than the Homo erectus man. Even the tools which were made by the Neanderthal man were more precise and more sharper than that of Homo erectus. Neanderthal man knew the art of making fire, and he started eating the meat which was roasted on fire, that was cooked, because before that they used to eat raw meat, kacha. But now when he learned the art of fire and when he came to know that something which is cooked in fire tasted more delicious, so they started eating roasted meat. He had developed an artistic skill and communicated with each other, that is by way of sound, that is the grunt sound which was produced by animals. The same sound was being produced by Neanderthal man, that is the primary sound. So they learned this communication language. Now moving ahead, let us see who is the next which is the next stage in the evolution of mankind. And the next stage in the evolution of mankind was of Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens is the name used for humans that were more advanced than the Neanderthals. That is, more advanced means their brain developed more. They started learning more artistic skill. They started learning new way of communication. Their hunting techniques also developed, and they started understanding the environmental changes. So they were more advanced. Now, how did they get this name Homo sapiens? Homo sapiens means intelligent or intellectual man, means the person who has more knowledge, more intelligent. Knowledge means who knows something more which is going on around him. We shall learn more about him. The Neanderthal and the Homo sapiens were the neighbors for some time in Europe. It is believed that due to reasons like their conflicts with Homo sapiens, that is the Neanderthal man, and the Homo sapiens, they had some conflicts, some fights. Okay, so due to some reasons, an inability to adapt to environmental changes. Inability to adapt to environmental changes means the Neanderthal man, he used to stay they used to live in group only. The climatic conditions were very cold, but when they shifted, or when they started traveling from one place to another, so there were some climatic changes around, some environmental changes took place, weather conditions started changing place. So these changes which started taking place, it was difficult for them to adjust these changes from one region to another region. And so the Neanderthal man slowly has started moving, that is from the African continent, he moves towards the European and the Asian continent. The environment changes, the lifestyle changes, everything started changes, and this became difficult for the Neanderthal man. And so the Neanderthal man started becoming extinct. Extinct means to disappear. Okay. On the basis of C14 dating, C14 is carbon 14 dating. This is a method, a technique of finding out the remains, okay, whatever fossils or dead things are there, to find out about them, that how for past how many years these things were there. So as you can see the picture which is there right in front of you about the Homo sapien Neanderthalis, that is Neanderthal man, the skeleton pictures which has been shown about the Neanderthal and the Homo sapien. So due to this C14 dating, it was estimated that the Neanderthal became extinct about 30,000 years ago. A short brief thing is given to you, that discovered a wise man in 1856 in German Neander Valley. So they were known as the Neanderthal man. Modern humans belong to this group. They lived from that is, you can see 230,000 to 30,000 years ago in Africa, Europe and Asia. They walked upright, they were straight, they were shorter in height and stalker than modern human, but much stronger. They had large brains, so more than 60 types of tools they had discovered. They worked together in group, they lived and traveled in group, they also hunted in an organized manner, and they had a sense of community, that is living in a society. Okay, now let us move ahead with Homo sapiens. Okay, now the human species that was more intelligent than any of the earlier species was named as Homo sapiens. In Europe, Homo sapiens is also known as Cargo-Mangoni. Now, knowing man. Now, what does it mean? Okay, so here is an explanation given to you, right? Neanderthal man and the Cargo-Mangoni man. This is another group of early men stood out during this period. Scientists nicknamed this group as the Cargo-Mangoni man. Now, Cargo-Mangoni man lived in Europe, because from Africa, if you remember, Neanderthal man shifted. So they extended, and this new species or new evolution of mankind started taking place. So they were found where? They were found in the continent of Europe. This group did not live a life of constant struggle for survival. Means they did not have to hunt all the time for the animals, or wait or when they will get their food to eat, or how they adjust. No, because they started learning technique. They started the communication. They knew the communication skill. They had discovered fire. So many of the things were been discovered. So for their survival, they did not only have to live on hunting, but they also started producing food on their own. Producing food on their own means, yes, agriculture and farming. So the tribal, in short, from the Stone Age period, now slowly they were moving towards the modern period. Okay, so let's see how these things happen. Okay, so their remains have been found in the continents of Europe, Asia and Africa. Homo sapiens made different kinds of tools and implements to suit the tasks they needed to do. They used to make stone blades and fix them in grooves and notches made in wood or bone handles. As you can see right in front of you, a picture of a Cargo-Mangoni man who made most precise tools. You can see the tool that is known as a bow and a arrow. So instead of using the spear or the axe, which was used for hunting, now they use bow and arrow. That means even for far distance, they can shoot the animal or they can kill the animal with the bow and the arrow. So this is an information which has been given regarding the cargo man. I'll just read out for you. The Homo sapiens, that is the Cargo-Mangolian, lived mostly in Europe. They were very smart and they also worked very well in groups. Their biggest difference between modern human was that the Cargo-Mangolian did not make their own food. They did not make because they started understanding. So like farming. The Cargo-Mangolian knew how to fish. So they were the first one to hunt fish and eat it. They had invented a variety of tools for hunting, fishing, painting, sieving, that is to sieve their own clothes. Okay, so they had learned this technique of hunting, fishing, painting. Cave paintings were drawn by the man in caves. They used or made razor-shaped stones, as you can see, to make lines on the walls of a cave to form drawings. The Cargo-Mango also invented the bow and arrow, which is powerful and safe because you can kill dangerous animals with it. Okay, moving ahead. Now, Homo sapiens, this group, they had evolved to a stage where they had developed a fully developed larynx. Now, you can see larynx means a part in the human vocal, a part through which we can speak, we can talk, we can produce a sound. Okay, they had started communicating by making use of various sounds, that is grunt, primary sound, the way the animals used to make sound. But now their larynx, which is a part of a vocal cord, had been fully developed, and so they produce different types of sounds. Their jaws and the muscles inside the mouth were well developed and the tongue was flexible. You can see the jawline, the upper jaw and the lower jaw, and the tongue which was flexible, which can move. So due to the jaws and the muscles of their mouth which were well developed, and the tongue which had become flexible, which they can move up, down, turn around, twist. Okay, so because of this, their facial expression had changed, their features of face has been changed, and their way of speaking also had changed. So Homo sapiens could use them to produce a variety of sounds and modulate his voice the way he liked. So many things the Homo sapien could do due to this changes. Okay, moving ahead. Using his imagination, Homo sapien could give names to different things he saw and could put his thought and feelings into words. He could draw pictures on the basis of actual observations as well as imagination. He even began to make artistic objects. That is why he has been named Homo sapien, that is intelligent man or thinking man. So here is the picture. You can see the Homo sapiens. They started learning the technique and art of drawing and painting on the caves of the wall. They started making various artistic things. They learned how to make various types of tools. So that is the reason this stage of evolution of humankind came to be known as Homo sapien, which was known as intelligent man. So we will stop our session part 1 over here and we will continue with our part 2. So please read the textbook, page number 21, Homo sapien, till page number 22. So in our part 2, we will begin with 5.2, Homo sapiens, sapiens and civilization. So stay tuned.